This is not about gossip. This is a criminal profile. For 2 decades, we watched Sean Diddy Combs reign as the untouchable king of hip-hop, a billionaire mogul whose power felt absolute. But tonight, that image is obsolete. The facade has fractured, not by rumor, but by federal law. The man who once controlled culture now stands officially convicted in a separate federal case, facing the heavy reality of a 50-month prison sentence. This is the key distinction. This is no longer a civil lawsuit. This is the consequence of criminal actions. The question isn't whether the empire will fall. The question is, what dark history did that empire cover up, and what evidence did the feds finally uncover that brought him to his knees? Think about the level of influence this requires. Money, lawyers, global celebrity status. For years, Diddy's team successfully deflected any serious legal threat, but federal investigations operate under a different standard. They pursue actions, not just allegations. The weight of this crisis is carried by the names now tied to the case: the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, the Homeland Security Investigations, and the federal court system. The fact that multiple jurisdictions are involved, pursuing charges that range from trafficking to racketeering, proves that the evidence against the mogul is beyond circumstantial. This level of coordinated action only occurs when prosecutors believe they have enough physical and testimonial proof to guarantee a conviction. When the heavily armed agents swarmed his Miami and LA properties, they weren't looking for celebrity secrets. They were looking for evidence: hard drives, financial ledgers, video recordings, and proof of organized criminal activity. The final verdict on his future will be decided by this evidence, not by his record sales. The legal reality is clear. Diddy is now a convicted man fighting a losing battle against a system designed to hold even the most powerful accountable. Stay with us. In the next section, we dive into the explicit accusations of Jonathan Hay, John Doe, and analyze exactly how those claims unlocked the federal case that led to his guaranteed prison sentence. To understand the criminal convictions, we must first understand the blueprint of control. Diddy's success wasn't just built on talent. It was built on a culture of fear and absolute control. He developed an environment where obedience was the only path to a career, and dissent meant professional ruin. This early history is crucial. It shows the systemic pattern of behavior using power not just to create, but to dominate and manipulate. We're looking at the erosion of ethics, where boundaries disappeared, and the cost of crossing the mogul became higher than anyone was willing to pay. This foundation of control is where the allegations of racketeering truly take root. The true darkness lies in the financial architecture of the empire. Prosecutors aren't just interested in what Diddy did, they're interested in how he funded it. We're talking about a sophisticated system designed to mask transactions, silence victims, and use NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, as tools of absolute power. The legal focus shifts to fraudulent activities, tax evasion, and financial coercion. Did he leverage his wealth to pressure artists and staff into illegal acts? The investigation is looking for that paper trail, the cold, hard evidence that money was used to facilitate or cover up the severe criminal offenses now leading to his prison time. The civil lawsuit filed by Cassie Ventura was the moment the public facade shattered. While it settled quickly, the details released were explosive, providing a roadmap for investigators. It detailed years of sexual assault, physical abuse, and forced compliance. This wasn't just a private dispute. It acted as the precedent-setting testimony that inspired other victims to come forward. It established a pattern of conduct necessary for the far more serious federal trafficking and racketeering charges. Without Cassie's bravery in naming names and detailing the abuse, the criminal case may never have gained the momentum necessary to bring down the whole operation. The criminal investigation gained irreversible momentum when Jonathan Hay stepped out of the shadows. He was not another celebrity looking for a payout. He was a key figure whose testimony shifted the narrative from civil dispute to organized crime. Hay's claims were explicit and damning. They detailed human trafficking, forced solicitation, and a sophisticated network that supplied Diddy's lifestyle. This is why his testimony is so vital. It provided the missing pieces of the pattern investigators needed. It painted Diddy not just as an abuser, but as the head of a criminal enterprise. The law requires evidence of sustained criminal activity, and Hay provided the necessary proof that this operation was systemic, not sporadic. The true measure of a criminal case is the search warrant. When the federal agents and LA sheriffs stormed Diddy's multi-million-dollar properties, they weren't on a fishing expedition. They had judicial approval, meaning they presented compelling evidence to a judge that proof of a crime was inside those walls. The Fed's target was precise. They were looking for digital evidence, hard drives, encrypted phones, cloud storage which holds the true record of communication and transaction. They were hunting the paper trail of wire transfers and guest lists that could substantiate the trafficking and racketeering charges. This is the moment the state moved from investigating Diddy the celebrity to prosecuting Diddy the criminal defendant. The legal filings revealed another explosive detail: the concept of unindicted co-conspirators. These are individuals involved in the criminal activity, but who have not yet been formally charged. This suggests the criminal net is cast wider than Diddy alone. This is a crucial distinction. Prosecutors are building a case against an entire network. We've seen other names of high-profile celebrities and music industry figures surface in court documents and media reports, allegedly linked to Diddy's parties and activities. This adds a powerful layer of intrigue, confirming the scope of the criminal enterprise extends deep into the heart of Hollywood. It suggests Diddy's prosecution is merely the beginning of a larger reckoning. Let's cut through the noise and get to the hard facts. Diddy is currently facing a 50-month federal prison sentence. This is the anchor point of his entire collapse. It is crucial to understand that this sentence stems from a separate, unrelated federal case, one that had been handled discreetly. The details surrounding this initial conviction and why it was kept quiet for so long are a scandal in themselves. The legal consequence is immediate. This conviction has stripped away his protective shield. Once he entered federal custody, his power to manage his empire and fight other legal battles was severely curtailed. The sentence is real, it is current, and it is the undeniable proof that Diddy has crossed the line from celebrity controversy to convicted felon. The chaos surrounding Diddy created a legal quagmire. Because he is now in federal custody, most of the active civil lawsuits against him, including the ones from various accusers, have been frozen or placed in limbo. This is not a win for Diddy. It is a legal technicality. What does this mean for the victims? Their pursuit of financial damages is paused. But more importantly for the narrative, it confirms that Diddy's legal strategy is now a fight for his freedom, not his reputation. The moment those civil cases become active again, the true financial reckoning will begin, but first, he must complete his time. The criminal conviction triggered a massive corporate reaction. Hollywood and corporate America cannot afford the association with a convicted felon. We've seen the rapid cancellation of partnership deals, the shelving of his television projects, and the silent withdrawal of investors. Diddy is not just losing money, he's losing control. His ability to manage the day-to-day operations of Bad Boy Entertainment and his various ventures is severely compromised from within the prison system. The collapse is not just legal, it's corporate. The empire is now vulnerable to hostile takeovers, and its once unstoppable momentum has completely reversed course. The true legacy of Sean Diddy Combs will no longer be defined by the records he sold, but by the laws he broke. The criminal case serves as a definitive warning. You cannot outspend federal prosecution. The American legal system, while often complex, ultimately proved that fame and billions cannot purchase absolute immunity. This is a reckoning that was long overdue. The 50-month prison sentence is more than just a punishment. It is the final punctuation mark on a career built on excess and unchecked power. This story proves that the pursuit of truth will always outweigh the pursuit of profit. Diddy's empire now continues without its emperor, managed from behind prison walls. The narrative is permanently altered. The music remains, but it is now filtered through the lens of sexual assault, trafficking, and criminal conviction. Every song, every fashion line, every interview is now tainted by the legal documents that detail his fall. The legacy is not just damaged, it is irrevocably defined by the choices that led to his incarceration. And this ongoing legal saga ensures that the conversation surrounding Diddy will continue to be focused on his criminal past, rather than his cultural contributions. But the story is not over. The legal battle is simply entering a new phase. The appeal process and the reactivation of those civil suits. If you want to follow every turn of this monumental legal story, every court filing, every legal challenge, and every step of Diddy's long journey toward parole, you need the sharpest analysis available. This is our value proposition. We look beyond the headlines to give you the expert, detailed, and non-biased legal and psychological analysis that the mainstream media often misses. Subscribe to Hollywood Celebrities 628, the Celebrity Breakdown now. Hit the notification bell to be the first to get in-depth analysis of Diddy's appeal. Click now to join our community.